Are we in character? That'll be on the B-roll.
They really are.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Two People in Clothes That Are Maybe a Little Too Tight for. I'm just kidding. We wanted to shoot something that broke down a little bit more about what this nutrition thing is all about. We have Coach Amy here. Say hi.
Hello.
And Zoom. And I am here, obviously, to give you guys a bit more information. This is going to be more of like an interview thing. Where I'm going to try not to talk the whole time like I am now. But, Amy, I guess the number one question is like, why is this different than anything else someone might have done before?
I would have to say the thing that first and foremost stands out more than anything else is it's a continuous build of skills that you're going to just slowly build on. It's not a quick fix. It's not, here's a list of food. Don't eat anything that's not on this list. Don't eat past this time. Only eat now, and track every single molecule of food that enters your body, and then we're going to go. It's the least stressful way to work on your nutrition and develop your skills and approach food and eating that you can possibly have, versus being super stressed out, trying to figure out how the heck to change everything all at once.
Right. Yeah, I think that's going to be huge for people, is understanding like this is a small thing.
It's not, bam, here's everything,
right.
Change it all. It's become an expert at this skill.
Right.
Okay, great. Now let's build onto it. Just like if you're playing sports, you're not going to go out, unless you're just some all-star like you.
Your boy. Obviously not.
If you're more like me and continuously are trying to become mediocre at sports, this is kind of that same thing based on food.
I think it's so. Amy's been playing golf recently.
That's a strong word, playing.
Yeah, swinging a golf club at a small white ball and seeing if it'll go anywhere. But I think a great analogy is that. So like, break it down, relate it more for a sport, because I know I've heard you talk to people using that as kind of a frame of reference. But compare what we're doing with this like skill-based nutrition and like learning golf. I think because there's a lot that goes into golf.
Oh yeah. So the first thing that comes to mind is the very first skill we will work on with nutrition is not snacking. It may seem like the most common sense, simple thing until you realize just how much, if you're being completely honest with yourself, that you snack throughout the day or just pick things up. I would equate that to learning how to hold the club.
Right.
And learning your grip. You might think, well, I'm just going to put my hands on it and swing it. There's more to it than that, surprisingly.
Well, and then it has, like, because I've played golf my whole life, and knowing how, like, the grip has so many downstream effects, like, even if your setup and your swing and, like, everything else is perfect, if you didn't set your hands up properly, it's going to screw up the rest of the thing. So just like, I feel like snacking, because this is not as big a thing for me, more like
for me it is.
Emotional snacking sometimes. It's not even snacking. For me, I eat whole meals if I'm emotional. But it has downstream effects that like you don't understand, and it seems like a very small thing. That's a great example of that. What else goes into this? Because I know we have like the skill-based piece. There's another part that you've talked to me about, like it kind of alleviates a lot of this. So we talked about stress. So walk me through, like, we have kind of skills and guidelines. Like, what's our difference there?
So the skill is like the overarching thing that we're working on. No snacking. So your guidelines are going to be what gets you to the point that you're like, okay, am I actually hungry? Am I emotionally eating? So the guideline, pause 10 minutes before you put anything into your mouth. After you pause that 10 minutes, which is that guideline, are you still hungry? Do you still want that? Or was it just in the moment, I smelled something that was absolutely delicious, like, I don't know, bagels or something, and wanted to eat it?
I've never done that. That's crazy. Who would obsess over bagels? But I think the thing that, like, to tease out what I hear is the skill even more so. Like, so there isn't just no snacking. It's even more like, know when you're hungry.
Yeah.
Because that is, for me, or when you're actually hungry. Because going through this myself, that was the big thing I learned. I was like, oh, I'm just bored, or like I'm just doing something I don't want to be doing. So my brain, without me even like recognizing, like having consciousness of, is like, we should like get something to eat because it'll distract us from what we're doing.
I've even noticed too, a thing that I struggled with a lot was, well, it's noon, I'm supposed to be eating at this time, or it's lunchtime, and not actually be hungry, but think, well, I have to go do it now.
Yeah.
No, you don't. If you're not hungry, and you have the flexibility. Now, there's things we'll get more into detail if you have a very like rigid set timeline that you have to eat in, or you're going to be starving until supper time. We'll go into more detail in that.
Yeah.
With the coaching and everything. But learning when you're actually hungry, or like Trent said, you're bored so you eat, or you're, well, I'm at the movies so obviously I have to have a snack or eat now. But learning, do you actually want it?
Right. That's like the, again, taking this again, zooming out is like we're teaching you guys skills and like using the guidelines of, they're not rules, because rules are a bit rigid, right? And they give you this like weird pass-fail complex. But giving you guys skills that will then be reinforced with guidelines. I think the final thing we'll do for this little intro video is talk about like, so we hit on like, what about the nuts and bolts of the program is different, but I can tell, I'll say my piece afterwards, but working with the beta testers that you've worked with, like what positive things, like whether it be emotional, obviously like weight loss is cool, that's part of the thing, but like emotion or stress around reading, have we seen results with that?
I have to say the number one thing that stood out to me, and it was just an awesome moment, was having somebody tell me that they had that light bulb moment, like they were in the middle of eating, and it was a suggestion that, snacking doesn't mean don't have something sweet or don't have something salty. But if you're out to dinner and want dessert and your family's in town and you're celebrating, have it. Just have it directly after that meal, and you're going to notice you eat a little bit less. And it was that light bulb moment of, oh, I get this. Like, I'm able to go out and enjoy my life. And yeah, instead of eating an entire piece of cake, I had 2 bites, and that was enough, and I was satisfied, and I didn't want it anymore. But I still got to enjoy, in that moment, my time with my family, because let's face it, the South especially, it's everything surrounds food and celebrations and everything. And I've noticed for myself that's helped me tremendously, like be able to go to an event and enjoy myself and not feel pressured because, oh gosh, I can't eat this, it's not on my list. Like, I could if I want. I fixed a plate, I had the plate, and that was it. And I was happy, satisfied, and had a blast.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the big part that I would speak to. Is for me, it's helped me. I was a kind of like an all or nothing person. If you've worked with me, like Amy has been so fortunate to do, I can be a bit ornery about like very specific things. And for me, I would do the thing where I would, either eat a snack or have a bad day or have, some kind of like food breakdown. I'm like, great, I'll just start next week. Forget this.
Oh yeah.
It's like this gives you the space to like recognize, okay, like I'm an adult who has responsibilities, who I don't want to say has a social life, but maybe every now and once in a blue moon, like has to go to an event, and like there isn't rice, vegetables, and a lean protein for me to plate. So I got to make the best with what I can, and it alleviates the stress of like, oh my gosh, it's not on my whole 30 foods list. Like that, no one can live like that. And this really allows you to like live a full life, but also achieve the results that you want. So I think you really get the best of both worlds.
And like kind of going off of that, we have very differing personalities on how we like work, and I'm much more like just kind of fluid and relaxed on like how I track things, and like tracking what I ate never worked for me, and I am terrible, as Trent can attest, at anything spreadsheet related. It's pretty embarrassing, but I've noticed like it's kind of the same no matter what your personality is. If you're more of a person that's very analytical and like likes the numbers and seeing things concrete, this gives you that in a way that is also forgiving. So if you do have a time that you're not perfect, like basically me on a daily basis, it gives you that chance to reset and realize this is not, I didn't fail at anything. I'm living my life and I'm learning what works for me and how to do this. Yeah. Because I mean, it's an emotional thing, really. No matter your personality type, you need that kind of give and take on building these skills out, and that's why it's done slowly and not all at once too.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think that's a good place to stop.
Yes.
If you're interested in hopping on board, which you should be, how do they get in touch with you?
So you can absolutely call or text me. Myself, we'll put it in the bottom. But
maybe more. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll put it somewhere.
Yeah.
And then, or if you're more comfortable just sending me an email, we'll have my email listed below as well. If you see me in here, just come talk to me. You're not going to bother me at all. Like, please don't hesitate to get in contact with me.
Dope. All right, gang. Till next time. Bye.